Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Beyond the Hype, Understanding and Applying AI Innovation. We are so excited to have you here, and over the next 45 minutes, we will explore how artificial intelligence can move from theory to real-world impact. My name is Dimitris Giannoccaro. I am the CEO and co-founder of IamIP, and I will be hosting today's sessions together with Romano Roth, Global Chief of Cybernetic Transformation and partner at Zühlke. Today, he will guide us through our topic, where we will see how AI can move beyond the hype to truly empower innovation teams in the daily work. Before we dive into today's topic, I would like to take a moment to briefly introduce IamIP to those of you that may not be familiar with us. At IamIP, we provide a patent management platform designed to help companies search, track, and collaborate around patents with security always in mind. Today, more than 12,000 users across industries rely on our tools every day to make patent information accessible, actionable, and strategic. A key part of our work is focused on AI, and we have developed several tools that can help R&D and IP teams work smarter. The AI patent categorizer, AI tagger, AI summarizer, and AI claim clarifier. You see already 4 AI definitions. Together, these tools helps other users achieve up to 80% time saving and reach up to 90% accuracy and streamline workflows by reducing manual work. And now, to explore how AI can go even further and empower innovation on a broader scale, I'll hand it over to you, Romano.
Thank you very much. So, artificial intelligence, a huge word. Everybody is talking about that. But does it really solve the problems what we have? And what does that mean for innovation and intellectual property? Will AI replace patent analysts? Come with me. I will show you something. Next slide, please. My name is Romano Roth, and I'm the Chief of Cybernetic Transformation and a partner at Zühlke. I work for Zühlke now since 23 years. I joined Zühlke directly after university as a junior software engineer, became then an expert software engineer, then an architect, and finally a consultant. And one thing that was always at my heart is how can we continuously deliver value? How can we automate things? And how can we ensure the quality of what we are building and organize whole organizations across the value stream? And when the whole agile DevOps platform engineering and nowadays AI movement started, I jumped right on top of that, became an organizer of different meetups. I'm an organizer of conferences that I'm doing. And I'm also very active on the social media channels. You can follow me there. I blog and post quite a lot if you want to learn more about these topics. I'm also a lecturer at HSLU in Switzerland for CAS digital transformation, for the enterprise architecture, and also for DevOps. And I have recently written my own book about the cybernetic enterprise, where we dive in how process, organization, and technology need to work together to create a cybernetic enterprise. In the projects I work with in different industries with different peoples doing transformations, building platforms, and of course working with AI and enabling companies to use AI. Next slide. Do you feel sometimes also like me, completely overwhelmed with all of that AI news that are coming? There a new model, over there a new tool that you need to use, and you need to do prompt engineering in that way. Next slide, please. So to you, I have a question, and the question is, do you believe AI will replace jobs? What do you think? Please take your handy, scan this QR code of Mentimeter and vote. And you can see, yes, many people think that, and of course, this is true. It will replace some of the jobs. Of course, not all. We will have changes. That's completely normal. This is exactly what we will see in the coming months and years. Next slide, please. And with that, also the next question that I have for you. Have you used AI in the past? And here, I assume we will have all yes, because AI is absolutely awesome. It's a great tool to use, and it's exactly what you see. Nearly no one is not using it nowadays. And with that, to the next slide. And here I would like to know from you, do you believe that AI will be able to run a whole company in the future? So completely. And I don't mean just a small one, really a big company. And here we can see already quite a spread. As you can see, many don't think that it can. Some think, okay, yes, that could be possible. But you also can see that we are not really sure. And for that, we really need to understand what exactly AI is and also what is behind it. This is where we dive in. Next slide, please. But before that, I must tell you, we are completely trapped in a hype. And next slide, please. I can show you numbers for that. So the investments into AI have reached in 2025 $1,000 billion. And in that number is everything in there. It means also the data centers that are built right now, everything is in there. And that's a huge number. On the other side, in 2025, the revenue that was generated out of AI is 120 billion. And you don't need to take a screenshot and ask ChatGPT if there is a difference between these two numbers. There is a difference between these numbers, and it's huge. And the thing is, many venture capitalists are, of course, saying, hey, this will be filled, this gap, with the efficiency gains that we get out of that. Next slide, please. In my opinion, we are completely trapped in a hype, and I have seen exactly that in the year 2000. And now you also know how old I am. Because in the year 2000, the internet was coming up. Everybody was freaking out about the internet. Every company needed to have their own website and their online store. And there were massive amounts of startups that were doing something with internet. Yeah, what happened is on Friday, March the 10th in the year 2000, that bubble burst and we went into a recession. And in my opinion, at the moment, we are in exactly the same bubble. You can also see mainstream medias, newspapers are also warning from that bubble. In my opinion, the question is only when that bubble bursts and not if that bubble will burst. I doubt it will be in 2025. Now, I think it will be somewhere in 2026. Of course, I don't want that bubble burst, but the indicators are so clear that it will burst. Next slide, please. So, of course, there are also studies out there which show exactly that. And again, it's the same as when we were in the year 2000 when the internet came up. The MIT study about the state of business in AI in 2025 says clearly enterprise spent roughly 30 to 40 billion US dollar on Gen AI. 95% of them see no P&L impact, so profit and loss impact. And only 5% they see real value out of that. And that's just huge. Next slide, please. And therefore, I say, hey, look, we are living in the area of the AI idiot, where ChatGPT cowboys, clueless politicians, and short-term hyped managers burn billions on that topic. And please don't get me wrong, I don't think you are AI idiots. And also there are brilliant people out there that are doing a great job out there. But there are so many ChatGPT cowboys out there that are creating quite a lot of fog all around that topic. Next slide, please. And yet I really think AI is absolutely awesome. And I use this tool every day. It's really my personal assistant at the moment. It's absolutely a fantastic tool. Next slide. And our job as leaders is really to cut through the fog and see what truly matters behind all of that fog that is created by the ChatGPT cowboys. Next slide, please. And therefore, we need to look at the wording of artificial intelligence. I see quite a lot of confusion around the word intelligence, especially in German-speaking countries. And when we look at intelligence, this comes from understanding, to perceive, from knowledge and action. And in English, artificial intelligence means a system that gathers information, interprets it, and derives actionable conclusions out of it. That's what artificial intelligence is. Especially in German, but also I see that with English-speaking people, they think it's about intelligence, the mental ability, the thinking, the reasoning behind it. So they think this is a system that simulates human thinking, which is absolutely not true. Next slide, please. And therefore, I always say, hey, be cautious. AI has no brain, use your own. And I always say, make a screenshot of that and put it into your company's offices so that everybody remembers exactly that. Next slide, please. So now we need to really understand what artificial intelligence is. And artificial intelligence was, it came up in the 1940s, late 1940s. And when we look at the different topics in there, then we have the topic of machine learning in there. Machine learning is all about gathering massive amount of data and learning out of that. That's machine learning. In there, we have deep learning. Deep learning means that we have a neural network, and with the massive amount of data and a lot of compute power, we can derive learning out of it. All good. Just to remember, I did deep learning already in the last century at my university. And we tried to predict the stock market, but we failed because we didn't have the data and we didn't have the compute power. Nowadays, of course, such experiments are much better to do. And then and then in there we have a generative AI, and generative AI is exactly what we talk about today as AI, because generative AI is all about generating images, texts, and videos. So when we talk about AI, unfortunately today we only talk about that little box down there. Next slide. So when we prepared that session, we also gathered some questions that you are interested in. And one of the questions that always comes up also with my clients is, can I trust AI? And the short answer is, next slide, please. No, you cannot trust. The long answer, you can just go to ChatGPT and type in if you can trust ChatGPT. And this is what ChatGPT tells you. It tells you that it's a pattern matching engine that predicts the next word. So no, you cannot trust ChatGPT and an AI. Next slide, please. Another question that comes quite often up is, can I build an AI-enabled system that matches human accuracy? Next slide. And here we need to say, yes, you can, but it takes effort. So when you ask something to ChatGPT, then the answers will be roughly 50% right and 50% not so right or wrong. That's sort of what we have at the moment. Now, what you can build is a RAG system, a retrieval augmented system, where you create a vector database, you put your documents in, and then you receive the information from there so that you can reduce hallucination. With that, you get an accuracy of 60 to 70% roughly. Now, when you really want to have accuracy, then you need to further boil down the context, which means what you need to do is you need to have sort of a master agent and sub-agents for the different topics with their own RAG system, with their own databases and their own content that they can work on. And with that, and a lot of prompt engineering, you will come up to roughly 95% accuracy, which means in 95% of the cases, you get a right answer. And in 5% of the cases, the answer is not right, or it's not really right. And this is roughly the human accuracy, what we can expect from an expert. And we at Zühlke, we have created such a system with an insurance company. They had quite a lot of complicated contracts with their clients, and they wanted to support their support personnel with such a system. But just to say, it involved quite a lot of human experts that were testing that system, and still humans are there to use that system, but it boosted the productivity massively. But you cannot just use an AI out of the box. It needs engineering. Next slide, please. So can I protect my data? And next slide, please. And here I must say, when you are using a SaaS service for an LLM, your data will go to them. And of course, they can say they will not use it. But in the end, if you have really concerns about your data and your data needs to stay on your laptop or inside of your company, then the only thing you can do is on-prem host your own LLMs inside of your own data center or run it locally. I can tell you, I also have local running LLMs. LM Studio or Olama are absolutely great tools that you can just download and run your local LLM. That works quite fine. Of course, they have not a huge context window. The context window is much smaller. Next slide, please. So with that, how does AI actually work? As I previously already told you, it is trained on massive amounts of data. We are talking about terabytes. The whole internet goes in there. And it is really that deep learning that they are using with a neural network. And out of that, they can see patterns in there. And with that pattern matching, they are able to have a predictability calculator so that they can predict the next word or the next pixel or the next frame of a video, for example. And they, of course, can understand context, and they have now generative capability. And this is exactly why we talk quite a lot about the generative AI, which we say nowadays this is AI. And there we can generate text, images, and videos or sound. Next slide, please. But an AI is not the silver bullet. For example, it cannot make real discoveries. It only knows what is already in there. It's a pattern matching engine. So they don't generate new insights. They generate insights based on the insights that they already have. There is no real understanding of the world. For example, when you talk to ChatGPT and you say, hey, there is a ball on the table, and I give it a kick, what happens next? It will tell you, yeah, it's on the floor, but only because the predictability says when something is on the table and it gets a kick, then the next thing is it's on the floor. This is just predictability. It's statistics in the end. It's not that it knows the physics behind it or thinks about the physics behind it. But of course, you can ask it about the physics, but it does not combine it. And that's the important thing. It has also no self-motivation. It's not motivated by itself. We always need to give an input so that it gets motivation. There is no planning and problem solving. Of course, there are now reasoning models, but that's bolted on top of an AI in itself. It's not capable of doing that. And there is also no self-reflection. Next slide, please. With that in mind, this is quite interesting, and many companies out there are saying, hey, we are going to replace humans with AI. And I say this is not true, because humans have strengths which AI has some difficulties with these strengths, and AI has, on the other hand, some strengths where we have difficulties with it. For example, when you look at the human strengths, we have empathy, intuition, understanding of the context. We can move around. We understand the linguistic differences. We understand irony, and we also have a cultural sensitivity. And here it's the important thing. A latest study says all of the AIs that are out there, they have the culture in there of Western English culture. That's the culture that they have. So it's completely normal that they react according to that culture. On the other hand, AI has absolutely strengths. It has pattern recognition, exceptionally enlarged data sets. It can do fast calculation. It has logic in there. It can automate stuff. So you can see when we combine that, then this is absolutely awesome. And that's what I always say. We as leaders, we need to create an environment where humans and AI can work together. Next slide, please. So to understand that a little bit better, where you can use AI in your company, I created this little framework to see where you can use it. So on the horizontal line, we have the degree of work transformation. So do we need to transform the work? So on the left side, we see work stays the same, but is powered by AI. And on the right side, we see the work itself transforms. So we have a different way of working. And on the vertical side, we have the role of the human being. So on top, we have people are handling over the work to the AI. So AI is doing the work. And on the bottom line, we have humans work together with AI. And next slide, please. And with that, we get 4 quadrants. And I want to now give you a little bit insights how work, especially in the intellectual property space, can look like nowadays, what we are already doing, and in the future. Let's dive in. So next slide. the first thing what we want to look at, sorry, back. So the first thing what we want to look at is when work stays the same, but is powered by AI, and the people are handling over the work to the AI, which means here we automate and orchestrate. Next slide, please. And in that space, today, this is absolutely already possible. And I'm pretty sure some of you are already using such system. This is AI automatically scans, for example, global patent databases, removes duplication and pre-classify results for alternative review. And you can see there is also a link down there of such a system that you can absolutely use today. Now, next slide, please. In the future, this can look different. And of course, here it's a little bit spacey because, yeah, it's in the future. In the future, we can imagine that we have AI agents. Of course, they will not look like this, but this is just how to visualize the AI agents. So AI agents can handle fillings, renewals, and compliance across jurisdictions. IP professionals only focus on exceptions, critical approvals, and validating AI-generated legal updates. And you can see the humans are not that much involved into that anymore. Next slide. So now we move to the other end. When work is transforming, so we have new ways of working, and of course the people are handling over the work to the AI. And this is the space where we call AI first. Let's dive into that. So next slide, please. Today, this can look like this, and I'm here again pretty sure some of you are using such systems. So here you have the AI co-pilots that support inventors with queries, prior art searches, and seamless updates to IP systems. This is something that you might already use, and you can also see some links out there to systems that exactly support that. So in the future, next slide, please. This can, of course, look quite different. And you see here, AI is in the lead. So there we have AI system that automatically detect emerging trends on the market, create automatically patent drafts, and also possibly execute these and prioritize R&D projects with absolutely minimal human input in the end. This is how a future in that space can look like. Next slide, please. So now let's go one down where we still do transform the work, but now humans and AI are working together. This is called co-create on the frontier. Next slide, please. And here, this is something that you are doing pretty sure also today. So IP experts use AI assistants to quickly create patent claims, summarize, and prior art analysis. This is something I'm pretty sure you can do today. You can do that with ChatGPT, and of course, and you see down there the link, there are also systems that you support you in doing that. Now, next slide, please. In the future, this, of course, can look a little bit different. There we can imagine that, especially in legal cases, AI or AI co-pilots can use internal and global legal data to suggest arguments for your legal claim, predict also the feedback from the counterparty, and simulate the possible results out of such a legal case, which is, of course, quite awesome. Next slide, please. So now we're going to the last part where humans work together with AI, but the work stays the same, but is powered by AI. Next slide, please. Here we talk about augmentation and scaling. And here I'm pretty sure some of you might already do such things or have such system. So here AI helps make better strategic decisions with simulation of technology trends. They show you new innovation and opportunities, but you as a patent manager and also R&D leaders decide together which areas to invest. This is probably something you are doing, and you see also again a link to such a system that supports that. Now, next slide, please. In the future, this can look completely different because now AI is part of the team. So an AI agent is now continuously scanning the patent and research and the market trends. And it works together with legal, R&D and business team to shape new IP strategies, licensing models and patentships. So next slide, please. With that, you can see in the future, human and AI will work together. And Garry Kasparov, which famously lost once against an AI, has a very brilliant quote, in my opinion, which really brings it to the point how our future will look like. The future is not man versus machine. It is man with machine versus man without. Next slide, please. And with that, I want to summarize. We are completely trapped in a hype, but we as leaders need to cut through the fog and see what truly matters. And for that, we really need to understand what AI at the moment is. It is a pattern matching engine. It's a very good tool, but you need to understand that and that you cannot trust the output unless you have done some engineering work. AI has absolutely no brain, so you always need to use your own. And I gave you that framework so that you can classify the work that you're doing. You can think about what work do I give to the AI? Where does it make sense? Where are humans and AI working together? Which work will stay the same or which work will completely transform? And you need to think about that. And with that, you have really a framework to analyze how you need to transform the work or how to use AI in your company. And with that, the final thing is what you need to do is create an environment where your employees can use AI. Next slide, please. And as you can see, the future is not about replacing people or humans with AI. It's all about amplifying human creativity with machine intelligence. Thank you very much.
Wow, great. Romano, thank you so much. This was a real pleasure to listen your experience and the story around it. Throughout your presentations, there have been some questions popping up. and one of the questions that has come in is, you mentioned about the hype, right, in the beginning, about this bubble. And the question is, do you think we are at the top, like you showed in the presentation, or this is somewhere there?
In my opinion, so my gut feeling, but it's completely my gut feeling. My gut feeling is, yes, we are at the top. And why do I say that? What you can see is at the moment, some companies are investing in each other to keep the system going. And therefore, in my opinion, we're really at the top. I would say my prediction is March 26, the bubble will burst. Okay, just my prediction. It's no investment advice.
No. All good. All good. Another question that I have, obviously as well, is a little bit. You asked the question, to the audience, if AI will replace people, and then towards the end, you mentioned about Garry Kasparov, obviously how we should compare these topics about AI versus humans, or AI. So your personal opinion is that by enabling AI as an extended arm to human beings, you think we will get more efficient? We will be able to do more work in less time. Is this a little bit what you see as a trend in all different areas, not just IP, but in general? Or do you see that we need less expertise within the teams by having AI close to our business?
Oh, no, absolutely not. You need that expertise. I think that this will be much more a thing that you have expertise within your team. I think with AI, you will get more efficient. And when we come back to the question that I asked, it is sort of the question was good, but what lies behind? It will replace some roles that we have. It will not replace the human beings. It will just replace some roles, make them redundant. And this is also why I have these quadrants, because what you can see, some of the roles are working nowadays on work that is completely transforming thanks to AI and is also handed over to AI. But there are other things, like, for example, the quadrant augment and scaling, where we explicitly want, and this is a deliberate decision that we as leaders need to do, where we say, hey, no, here AI and our leaders that we have with the expertise need to work together. And therefore, I think in the future, it will be much more beneficial when you have critical thinking, whole system thinking, and analytical thinking. And with that, you with these skills and also with intuition, you together with AI, you are really good in a company.
Okay. Another question from the audience is the following: what will happen if AI is analyzing the outcome of another AI?
Yeah, at the moment, I have done that, of course. It's quite funny. Of course, you can say, yeah, I didn't do it right, or I could write the better prompts. But when you do that, and you have such a system and also a feedback system, you first of all burn quite a lot of tokens, spend quite a lot of money with that, and the output is just crap. That it's, look, in the end, what you have at the moment is like a junior, and what you are doing is just lining juniors on top of each other. And if you are not able to bring a good context in it and explain it good to them, which is really hard, you will just end up with crap in the end. And yes, there are also good systems out there. For example, especially in coding, we are already starting using such systems where, for example, when we make a code change, there is an AI agent that reflects on that and gives us some input. But at the moment, I have not seen a system that works properly over different AI agents and does not produce that much crap and at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Another question. This is a quite long one, so I will try to make it short for you. Nobody knows yet which work will be transformed, as we did not know what will be transformed when the smartphone came along. Under this assumption, how to effectively leverage the quadrant frame?
Oh, very good, a very good question. Now, that's absolutely a brilliant question, because the thing is, and here it comes, you need to use your brain and need to think about it. Think of AI like a tool. Think of the capability that it has. Think of your requirements that you have to a process or to a piece of work. And then think about, does it make sense? Is the process still the same? Do we need to transform the process? That's the magic. You need to think about that, and potentially you can also think about, does the process at all make sense in the way it is? Or can we even create a new process or delete the process? Or can we delete a requirement? Because what I always see out there is that we say, okay, we have AI, let's put AI like salt over existing processes, over existing tools, and then we wonder why it does not work. We need to rethink that. We need to rethink the processes, also the requirements, and potentially we can also eliminate some of the requirements. And sometimes AI is also not the answer to that. So in the end, to answer it very shortly, use your brain.
Maybe a comment as well to this one. I think when the iPhone was released, right? I mean, new companies appeared, right? I mean, new businesses came along because they could leverage, obviously on the applications and the Apple Store. So as you said, I think AI is just enablement of many things. And as you said, use your brain in the context you want to use it. Okay, questions are popping in. Okay. What task will remain to 100% with humans, as you could also predict, the bubble when it will burst? Now you get another question like that.
A very difficult question. I want to answer it a little bit with history. When you would go travel back in time to the, let's say, 18th century or in your country, what you would have is a lot of agricultural people there. If you would tell them that in the future, agriculture in the most Western states will only be 5%, they will tell you, what will all the people do? And you can see, of course, we have a completely different society. So I think many of the things that we are actually doing at the moment can and will be done from AI. And when we also think about robots, then in the future also robots will support us with that. But when you want to have a real example, what I think we as human beings, we are very good at social interactions. And I think everything that has to do with people socially interacting with each other, I think this will remain with us humans.
So one could say that the decisions will hopefully always be made by humans and not by an AI.
Hopefully. I don't have that much hope.
Romano, thank you so much, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. It has been a great discussion, and we hope you found it useful. Before we close, I would like to share a quick note. IamIP is one of the sponsors at an IP Service World in Munich next month. If you're planning to be there, we would love to meet you in person, and you will find us at a booth number 12. And as being a platinum sponsor, as they call it, we also have some free tickets for the event. So are you interested? It's actually a first come, first serve. And therefore just send an email to info@iamip.com and we will then give you the ticket. But we don't have that many, so please act fast. You will also receive more details about this in our post-webinar follow-up email. Along it also with the recording, so you can listen again to the discussions and the presentation material. Thank you again for spending your time with us today, and we hope to see you either at IP Service World or at one of our upcoming webinars. Thank you all.
Bye bye.